All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's prepare for our big day. CPI is tomorrow, guys. That is going to be moving us in either direction. I doubt we're going to stay stuck in this consolidation post tomorrow. So today in this video, we are going to go over what we're thinking going into CPI. All right. First things first, guys, we obviously still are just stuck in that consolidation. We called that out ever since this day right here. We were saying, 15-minute RSI, 1 hour RSI. They had these bearish divergences going on. We're either going to consolidate until, those resolve themselves, or we're going to get that pullback to completely reset those oscillators. What do we get, guys? What do we get? We got straight up consolidation. All right, that's pretty much it. You saw the dip. We talked about this, get a 1 to 2% dip in the, beginning of the week. We're looking for it to get bought up. I am just saying we have CPI tomorrow and we are still, flying high in the sky here. And I think we definitely have room to go lower. That is my opinion. That is what I am thinking going into tomorrow. I think it's likely that you don't just skyrocket back up from here. I think we're probably going to start breaking down and then we're going to revisit this area. It would be extremely healthy for that to be the case. We know there's very likely to be buyers there after last week's big bullish bar. So that is what I'm going to be paying attention to if we get, a hot CPI or a tame CPI and market decides to dip down into here. All right. If you test 503.52, guys, you're going to have the daily 9 sitting right underneath there or right above there. It's right underneath the 506.41 gap. It really is pretty simple. There's not much to talk about in this range here because, I'm just going to say there's not really any levels getting respected here. Watch your golden pockets. That's about it. All right. So, you see where you're getting sellers right there. Well, I'll just tell you, how I'm looking at these things. Okay. We're going to take off the magnet right here. This, you don't have to complicate things. Okay. From there down to there. What'd you get? You know what? We'll take it one step further. Okay. From here down to here, where'd they step in? Golden pocket. All right, so there's one. From there down to there, where'd they step in? Golden pocket. You do not need to complicate things. All right. And then what do you got, guys? What do you got? Third try. Okay, third test of the golden pocket right there. And yeah, that's like all I'm really going to say here, guys. Get above 513.80 tomorrow. We're probably going to start making our way up to, 515.58 and then catch a new all-time high. But, as far as I'm concerned, if we open up flat tomorrow, all right, you watch the golden pockets. You watch that thing right there, and you got to watch that thing right there. It's as simple as that, okay? So, as far as this range goes, break above 513.80, look for a continuation. Break under 510.62. Look for us to start testing these lower levels here. All right. Not 510.62, just, 510.50. Break under 510.50 tomorrow if we, open up flat tomorrow off of our CPI print. And then, we can look for a further sell. Until one of those things happen, we got nothing to talk about in this range. It's just consolidating. This is exactly what we were talking about. We're going to pull back. We're going to consolidate. Don't expect too much after we just had a straight vertical move. All right. Like, absolute straight vertical move there, $30. On most of these tickers we have them. Tesla we have it. It's finally getting its pullback there. Bitcoin had it. It got a little pullback today. It got bought up by the end of the day. But as far as support goes, watch 509.83, 508.34, 506.41 gap. All right, that'll be a gap fill. Daily 9 is probably going to be right there. I'm thinking we either get buyers stepping in somewhere right over here or starting over at 503.52. Regardless, I'm looking for buyers to defend this breakout area right here, this breakout zone. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to tomorrow if we start breaking down. All right, and not to say we test that all in one day. It can't take 2 trading sessions. We shall see. All right, we shall see. Same look over here in SPY, guys. Not really much to talk about when we're just sitting in a range and there's not really support and resistance being respected over here. There's just not much to talk about it. What can you watch? Golden pocket. All right. What can you watch? Golden pocket. That's pretty much it, guys. That is pretty much it. So, break above 598.50, we're going to call it. Just get above 598.50. Take out this high right here. All right, which is going to be, where's my magnet? There's my magnet. All right, take out 598.40, get above there. We are probably going to be pushing this high right there, 599.29, and then we have 617 above. But chances are we're gonna get a gap up or a gap down off the CPI. So, chances are we're not even gonna have to worry about this range. So we're not really gonna talk a lot about it. If we open up flat tomorrow, break underneath 595, we'll call it. You're probably gonna start testing these lower levels, right? From there, you have 594.37. 591.93 gap fill down there, and then you have 589.43, and we can see that on the daily time frame. All right, so this is your the past two trading sessions made your little range there. Break up 600 for a shot at 605, 610, those psychological levels right there, just like we stalled out right at $600. All right, a lot of people were watching it. It was going to act as a magnet, but it's also going to be where people take their profits. Okay, that is what creates this consolidation that we knew for a fact was likely going into the week because of our handy dandy 1 hour RSI, 15-minute RSI. We knew something was going to happen, either a pullback or consolidation. It could have kept going up, but guys, market can behave rationally, but is it likely to just do these things? No, it's not likely to go straight up. And it was going straight up for a long time. We knew at some point after this, 3 days of just sitting up here, we were going to start that pullback or consolidation in order for this thing to reset. What happened? It fully reset. All right, so I'm neutral right now, but I am definitely going to say these charts do lead to, they suggest further downside unless we get, a straight up CPI gap up tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to be looking for to sell this thing. Okay, break under 594.37, 591.93 gap fill. 589.43, and then we have 586.12. That was the breakout level. Now, like I said, this doesn't have to happen all in one day, but it is only 1.7% away. People are going to lose their minds if it happens. Just remember, guys, buying opportunity. We just had a fresh breakout. That would just be around 50% retracement from this whole move. All right, and then worst case scenario, you dip a little further, and people really lose their minds. But we're gonna play this as we go. We're gonna see how this thing goes. We'll track it. But as far as I'm concerned, bullish is definitely, or structure is definitely, bullish is still structure. Yes, Henry. Structure is still bullish over here. You're above the daily 9. We know if you pull back into these things, you typically get your bullish reaction on the first attempt. All right. But we're open to whatever. All right. We are open to it. Next thing I'm going to point out, guys, is VIX is still just sitting down here. And this is another reason I am definitely leaning towards getting that pullback over there on the indices. I've been talking about this thing, and we haven't gotten much of a bounce over here. Yes, this started to kind of resolve itself, but in the form of it going flat. We typically get a reaction over here in this zone. I'm looking for it, guys. I am looking for it. And I do think, it's probable that we get something like this. All right. I do think it's probable. Maybe something like that. But, that's what I'm going to be looking for. If you gap up tomorrow, guys, we shall see. What if you gap up above here and then you have an island reversal just like you had over here? It would be pretty cool. Did you? Kind of. Not really. But, that would be pretty cool to get it straight up coming from the zone we've been talking about. That would be nice. But, weekly charts, guys, like we just pointed out, indices had a fat green bar last week. This had a fat red bar, and you broke down from this ascending triangle. It probably is going lower, but I do think a dead cat bounce over here on Mr. VIX is likely, and I do think a pullback or reversion to the mean is likely over there on SPY and QQQ. All right, I talked about it. Either this thing was going to trade flat, and this was just kind of going to, meet it halfway and keep coming up to it. All right. Or you're going to have price meet it. It's one or the other, guys. It's probably going to test it at some point. IWM, you are starting to cool off, guys. I gave my reminder yesterday. Maybe people don't want to hear to take their profits, but at the end of the day, I will remind people because, it's better than being a gambler out there. If you made money and you nailed the move, why are you not going to take your money? So, even if people don't want to hear it, I did definitely remind people, quite a bit in yesterday's video on several tickers. So, there you go. IWM being one of them over here, 244.46 is probably going to be hit, but I do think you're probably going to revert back to the mean. We talked about this, all right? Daily RSI is in overbought territory. Not saying it can't go higher. It definitely can go higher, and I do think it's going higher. But a pullback is definitely warranted after last week's massive move. That is that. Support over here on IWM is going to be 235.65. Underneath there, 233.64, 229.84, and then 226.64. I don't think you're getting back down here right away. So that is that. Coming over here to the hourly time frame, resistance we're gonna use as 238.49, and then 240.76, and then you will have high rate up here at 242.39. Yay, guys, you did start pulling back over here. Again, I mean, everything looked so extremely likely that you were going to revert back to the mean. You closed out with the shooting star candlestick. Not a shooting star, a spinning top candlestick over there on Tesla yesterday. Some of these things after crazy rips, they're probably going to be pulling back, guys. DIA, you're watching 437.79. This is the high of this candlestick right there. Underneath there, we just have 433.20 to pay attention to. Daily 9 is probably going to meet it. And we probably get a reaction off of there. All right. Or at least some consolidation. We shall see. All right. But actually, coming over here to NQ, I do want to point this out, how you're kind of just do this first. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. All right, guys, look where you're hanging on to. Look at that. You are literally hanging on to, your previous all-time high there. You're trying to consolidate above it. We're going to see if CPI gives you a nice little pop off of this, but, I don't think it's likely, but, I thought I'd just point this out. NQ is literally consolidating above its, previous all-time high there. So there is that. All right, let's go over the mega caps, guys. Tesla, guys, it is starting to pull back here. That is definitely room for, concern over here. We're going to take that off. We don't need that level right there. I am looking for at least 313.61 on this pullback. That is what I think is likely. Why do I think that's likely? Because this was a big spot you just broke out. You see all these wicks up there, guys? People were trapped up there. You pull back into it. You had sellers sitting there before. Well, pull back into it. You probably get buyers either there or at this other high at 299.29. So that's what I'm paying attention to over on Tesla. You did fill your gap today. All right. So we don't need to be paying attention to that level anymore. As far as resistance goes, take out 358.64, the current high, and you are probably going to make your way up to, honestly, probably straight up to $400. Psychological level up there. But, weekly chart, I think this thing is coming to a new all-time high. I don't think this run is over. I think you're probably going to pull back and then continue a run. That is what I'm thinking over here. All right. But, weekly RSI overbought, weekly RSI overbought. I think we're probably going to be having one of these moments where you just kind of stay up here. It's just like Bitcoin over there. We'll see what we get. We will. All right. I welcome a pullback. I would like 300, and yeah, it would be cool. All right. As far as Apple goes, guys, it's still just the ugly guy in the bunch. You rejected your break and retest 227.76. We talked about it, and then you came back down to 221.33 support yesterday. Underneath there, you got 217.22 and 213.92, and then you're probably going to sweep this low and test 211.75 right there. All right, at the 0.618 fib. And as resistance, you got 227.76 and then 230 right above there. Amazon, some of these charts, guys, we're pretty open to both directions here on this channel. I really don't see a reason to be biased right now. The indices look like they could pull back, but some of these things are consolidating in bullish manners here. And then you got things like Goog just pushing straight up, and it looks like it's going to, push towards the new all-time high. But over here on Amazon, guys, you're just consolidating right over here. Right above where we were paying attention to. You lost it, and you were just, trying to reclaim and hold that spot. I think this is going higher, but, I welcome a pullback to 201.20. Expect buyers at 201.20. I'll just put a little zone on there for us. All right, anywhere in there, you're looking for buyers, okay? Goog. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This thing does look like it wants to run. It looks like it wants a new all-time high. I will point out, heavy volume here. I know we had earnings, and then, decreasing volume on the, follow-up candlestick. The important thing is that you push back up to the highs, guys. So, this whole dip here was bought. So the people who sold this probably just bought it back up. And, yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty juicy, guys. It is looking pretty juicy. Above 183.79, as far as resistance goes, you're going to have 190.34 sitting up there. Above there, 193.31. I'm thinking this thing pushes a new all-time high. This is like one of the charts, suggesting to me maybe CPI, doesn't make the market crap the bed. There's that. I mean, regardless, this is definitely a bullish chart. get above 183.79, and that's when, fireworks going to happen over here on Google. It could definitely just kind of grind higher. Microsoft, it's another one, guys. Hit it with the break and retest yesterday. You reclaimed your little uptrend right there. That was your head and shoulders neckline. Guess what? Held the break and retest, held the daily 9, and now we're kind of just stuck in the middle here. 426.10, that is your resistance. Get above there, 431.08, and then we're probably going to target 440.23. Why do we have 440.23? Let's just target right there, right? 441.85. That is what you got. Okay, which just go with that. We're not going to watch that. All right, so above 431.08, you have 438.50. Downside support, 416.16. That was the level you held yesterday. Underneath there, you're going to have 408.17. Meta, guys, is another one that, I'm just saying, this weekly chart, it does not suggest it's going to fall off a cliff here. It suggests it's probably going to either stay stuck in this consolidation until next week, or it's going to start busting out. All right, above 62.95. I'm looking for 650. I'm looking for a trending move to start up for, probably 1 to 2 weeks there where it just kind of grinds higher. We will see. All right. But you definitely got a crap ton of consolidation here going on Meta. And, honestly, maybe it's something like this. Maybe it is something like this where we're just going to be stuck in the range for quite some time. And, even if you go a little higher, you just get sucked back down. And then, months later, we get the big move. I have absolutely no idea. But, I'll just tell you right here, you pull back to the weekly 9, and now you're just consolidating here above it. It looks like you want to bust up to a new high. So that is that on Meta. Now, chips, guys, chips are looking pretty ugly right now, besides like NVIDIA. SMH is not anything really clear over here. We're just going to clean out this chart here, though. We're going to clean this zone, get rid of that thing. All right. And what are we going to be paying attention to, guys? Hold the golden pocket like you did today. All right. Continue to do so. We could see, price start moving back up to the high. At the end of the day, CPI is probably going to give us a decent move. I doubt you're going to, get all the way up there in one day. But like we're going to see, guys, close out bullishly tomorrow. This thing probably starts pushing up to the highs. And then, chips as a whole are probably going to be doing that as well. I'm going to be specifically watching ARM. All right. But on the downside, underneath 245, if that gets lost tomorrow, we probably are starting to move all the way back down here to 237. So that is that. The video over here, this is one that's not looking too bad. You can see on the weekly time frame, it does look like it's probably gonna, continue higher this week. Or we have a little red week like that, and then it gets bought up the following week. I welcome a pullback over here. Pull back in the golden pocket. You're going to be testing the weekly 9 over there. We know that's where it held. I'll just point it out. Held it right over here. Got above it. Came back. Retested it. On the daily chart, guys. You can see you have the golden pocket right there. We're going to be watching 137.46 support if this cannot hold. One of these is likely to hold, and then we are likely to continue higher. That is NVIDIA. You also have earnings next week. So, big boy on deck. Premiums are juiced. But, yeah, we're probably going to be getting another big move. My guess is to the upside. And that's that. ESM, guys, a whole lot of absolutely nothing. You're still just consolidating right around here. You want to see buyers step in over here. This is where they stepped in the last 2 weeks. Do we get them stepping in the third time? Probably knowing this thing, but at the end of the day, you had a pretty nice move up into the golden pocket, and you had 100% retracement. That's never a good sign. All right, so there is that. Underneath 187.66, you're watching for 184.25. And then, guys, we could come all the way back down here to 176.80-ish, all right, at the 0.618 fib. And this is where we originally broke out from at 175.45. That's what I'm watching over on the TSM. Avgo, still stuck in a range. We're really not going to talk about this thing. This thing has been doing absolutely nothing. I'm just going to point to the weekly chart. All right, I'm going to take off all of these, and, you have one big mess going on here. That's all you really have to know about this thing. All right. It's consolidating, getting ready for the next big move. Is it going to be down? It's going to be up. My guess is up because you did break out and you're consolidating above. All right. Your ugly double bottom neckline. AMD, guys. All right. This is one that's not looking too hot right now. You did start selling today. And I want to point out on these past 2 red days, you did have that increasing volume. Volume is picking up here. That is not necessarily what you see, but then again, this thing is a troll. All right. And, it's getting bought up into earnings. Oh, falls off a cliff. All right. You're right here on the 0.786 fib. We already know, you broke under it already. So, I was biased to the downside over here. I still do think, move towards 133.74 is probably coming. But, I don't really want to talk about this thing right now just because there's nothing clear in these charts, guys. I don't want to concern myself with that. And I don't think you should either. We point out plenty of, decent looking charts, and this ain't one of them. ARM. What we got over here, guys? Bull flag. This is actually, this is the main chip I want to keep my eye on. You just had earnings, so premiums aren't going to be juiced like NVDA. NVIDIA, obviously, that's going to be the leader over there, but premiums are definitely going to be super elevated, probably priced in 10% plus move over there on NVIDIA. So, juice premiums up the wazoo over there. ARM, though, if we get a bullish CPI over here and we start gapping up towards, the top trend line of this bull flag, we're probably going to start breaking out over the coming trading sessions. I'm going to take this one if we get, a positive bullish reaction to, CPI. All right, so that's that. But you are sitting right here on your 138.40 support. On the upside of resistance, you got 147 on the dot. All right, now let's go over Bitcoin, guys. You did start pulling back. I think it's, I gave my warning yesterday. You had a 31% move we pointed out yesterday. You typically start consolidating or pulling back around that 26% mark, 25%, whatever we were pointing out yesterday. Guess what? You've had quite a big vertical move. Not really any consolidation here, 35%. It's kind of equivalent to 26% there. What do you got over here? All right, 23%. And then you consolidate. Like, I'm looking for this action right here for like a week. That would probably be the healthiest thing for this market, considering everything just went straight up. People are going to then call for tops, and I'm going to be like, yo, what are you guys talking about, dude? This thing's probably going higher after the big move we just had. And I will remind you guys of that. I don't know why people are sitting there calling tops. There's a guy named Trigger Trades over on Twitter. The big Elliott wave guy. He thinks we just hit the market top for this whole cycle. All right, since like 2009. And he thinks we're about to have a crash. I think these people are stupid. Maybe you have some right calls, but I guarantee I can go on the guy's page and find a ton of those, Elliott wave counts that just never played out and the thing just kept going higher. And the way these people phrase it is they're right. Either like it doesn't matter what happens, right? Oh, Elliott wave worked because it invalidated when you went above this level. Dude, that defeats the purpose. Okay? Like I will follow price action, but I'm not going to claim to have nailed things spot on no matter what way we go. I've gotten things wrong in this channel. I will acknowledge when I do so. As of right now, coming this week, consolidation / pullback was what I was looking for. I'm not looking for a crazy market top though. Pretty crazy. All right. So I do think these things probably start to pull back here. All right. I gave my warning, yesterday on so many of these stickers. Profits, guys. Profits. If you're in them, take them. All right. If you were buying December, January calls with us down here, you're up almost 200% here. Just chill. All right. 150, 200%. Chill. Okay. Chances are we do see Bitcoin pull back. We just went straight vertical to 90K. If a lot of people are watching that 100K level, it's probably not going to happen. You're probably going to have a bunch of people trying to sell before it. So we're probably not just going to run straight towards it. Could very well backtest the previous all-time high. And if that happens, this thing's going to pull back, revert to the mean over here. And Mars is going to pull back, and Coin's going to pull back, and MSTR is going to pull back. And yeah, profits. All right. Especially ahead of the CPI day. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We have no idea about this catalyst. So, second day, you closed out right at the 0.786 fib. So far, you are, in there with a little pullback in the after hours. I, have to assume these things are going to pull back. That's what I'm thinking. But maybe maybe Bitcoin pulls back and these things are going to front run the move. Absolutely no idea. Coin. All right. Pull back into 272.55 to 283.48. And I really like it there. But you can definitely pull back deeper over here depending on what Bitcoin wants to do. Either way, it's going to be a buying opportunity. So remember that one. If you're buying with time on these guys, I think you're going to have a really good time. You could buy the January expiration. The premiums aren't going to be juiced from earnings. That is an idea. Obviously, these are expensive options. We have crazy moves over here. But, at the end of the day, they're not going to be super, super juiced. There you go. But big breakout, retest it, probably find buyers there. If not, we're going to be looking for buyers down here. Either way, buying opportunity on the pullback. We'll see what we get tomorrow. Tomorrow, guys, You're right here at the top trend line, the upper trend line of this bull flag pattern. This is actually pretty similar to Riot over here, which just broke out of that. And you can see it on the monthly time frame. This thing wants to go. All right. So I do think these things go a lot higher here. But, you know, I am so open to that pullback. It's ridiculous. I would love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. All right. It is time to take risk off before CPI. And then you can put the risk back on when you start seeing your setups load up again after the catalyst that we have no idea the results of. And, you know, we certainly have consolidation right now. So break either direction from that range. We're going in that direction. Guess what? What if it's the downside and you didn't take profits beforehand? If you're an options trader and you can't do it tomorrow in pre-market and you're like, crap, there you go. That's why I give the reminders. But, you know, over here on Mar, guys, right at the upper trend line, that's pretty much it. Pull back. I like 2282. That's definitely going to be a key spot there. You got like three or four clear reactions we could see right there. If that doesn't hold, maybe we get a deeper retracement all the way back down here to 1994. So there's that. MSTR didn't seem to care. Pushed up to a new high today. Weekly charts looking absolutely crazy. I do think 400 is coming over here on MSTR and coin. You know, but hey, I welcome pullback to 280.80. That is that. All right, guys. Now I got this alert hit today, so let's go over some things. Upstart, guys, you are pulling back to your daily 9. This is where you broke out from. Weekly chart, massive breakout. All right, so I thought I'd put it back on your radar. We talked about it right over here. We did have earnings, so we didn't know what was going to happen off earnings. Little did I know, 40% move, 46% move. Pulling back, expect buyers on the pullback. That's pretty much all I got to say there. RK, you're also pulling back. Expect buyers in the 51.33 to 53.86 break and retest. I love it down here if we can get it. So that's what I'm kind of patiently waiting on. And it's looking like we're going to get it. All right, next one, we're going to talk about BLY, guys. I know everyone's favorite over here, Mr. Banana Man on Twitter. Yeah, everyone loves that guy. Everyone loves MBLY. He's been so wrong on this thing throughout here, and then he claims he's super right over here. I'm not gonna say he's not, you know, really good at what he does. He definitely makes a lot of money. Oh my God! But admit to your mistakes. You bought weeklies every single day, pretty much all the way down here. I saw it, and then you start screaming and shouting about it over here. Like, you're right. No. I actually was one of the people somewhere over here. I remember I bought in with them and I was like, yeah, all right. And then, you know, I waited for this actually to set up and then we bought somewhere over here. But, you know, reminder to take profits over here. Daily RSI is hitting, you know, overbought territory. And as we can see, no matter what that guy says, I'm not going to call him a clown or nothing. You know, he makes money, but I'll definitely say he's completely full of himself. And it makes no sense to me on why, you know, a gazillion people follow him. He's pretty all over the place, and a lot of these calls go absolutely nowhere. I see them all the time. But yeah, he's screaming and shouting about it as the daily RSI comes into overbought territory. So, you know, if you're not scaling out, if you're, you know, I put it on your radar, back on the radar down here. So if you are, you know, if you played that move with us, guess what? You're up over 100%. Take your freaking money. So there you go. But yeah, you're back here. You got a 1, you got a 2, you got a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8. Oh, since inception, you've sold off every time you've gotten up. Yeah, don't listen to freaking Banana Man on Twitter, guys. Just do not. He's not really explaining himself. He's just kind of, you know, saying, oh, this is going there, not financial advice. And then when people get mad at it, he's like, oh, it wasn't financial advice. Did you screaming and shouting about it? I scream and shout about things too. All right. Not nearly that much. It's whatever. He's a cool dude, I guess. But, yeah, he's kind of an ass on Twitter. Kind of just an asshole. But there's that. I could be an asshole sometimes too, but I don't like hurting people's feelings. I feel bad about, you know, myself. I'm like, why the heck did you do that? You had no reason to do that. That's terrible. And, you know, that's where empathy comes into the equation. You're like, well, that was stupid. There you go. All right, guys, but that's all I really want to talk about. This is, you know, just grinding higher right before earnings. Another thing that, you know, if you were playing it before earnings and no premiums reduced, you still probably are up 100% if you were playing it from when we were calling it over here at this trend line up here. But, you know, at the same time, you got to get a big move tomorrow to really see those call premiums juice even more. So, you know, take your profits. Daily RSI is overbought, just like over here and over here. Yes, we can start a massive run. I don't think it's going to happen, but we shall see. We shall see. We put it on, you know, on your radar down here around 95 bucks. Now a decent amount higher. There you go. All right, so that's what I got for you guys in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please remember to leave a like. If you got anybody else, you know, in your trading life that you think would, you know, benefit from these videos or appreciate them, market preparation we do most days, yeah, consider sharing. It would help out the channel, and yeah, that's that, guys. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.